Greetings, my fellow 86 peoples. Do a quick intro to this episode so you can know what to kind of expect. Basically, what we're going to do is block sand the car again. Won't be showing much footage of that because it's pretty boring and pretty self-explanatory. If you need to go back and look at more of that and explanation of it, I do a little bit in here, but the previous video does a little bit more maybe. I can't remember exactly, but so basically we're just going to do the block sanding, and we're going to fit the doors, the driver's door, because it's a new door, and so you want to make sure things line up proper, or can line up properly before you do your final base coat and clear coat, because you don't want to be messing around with that after the car's painted, because you'll end up damaging the paint for sure. And also you might need to do some adjustments to get it to line up properly. And I'm not just talking about with the nuts and bolts, I'm talking about with actual body work, bending the fender around. You'll see in this video I actually ended up doing some of that because things weren't lining up like I was hoping that they would. But and also finally, we are going to be doing the base coat and clear coat this episode. So you'll get to see my paint choice and how it turned out. Also, I wanted to give a shout out to a channel that is doing the same thing as me. A guy, I don't know where he's located, but his channel is called BSR, BS Record, I think. But I'll leave a link in the description. It's coming along really well, and I like the way it's going. So I'm gonna go ahead and give a shout out, and I guess that's it. You guys, thank you again for watching. Over 300 subscribers, yay! So that's awesome, and so I'm really happy about that. Keep the 86 going, guys. Without further delay, let's go ahead and get it going. All right, guys. Now, whenever you are in the primer stage, or even before the primer stage, actually, and you're changing fenders or doors, or one or the other, or both, you want to test fit. You want to make sure you test fit the door or the fender before you do your final primer and block sand and paint, because easily you can have something a little bit off. Well, mainly if your car's been hit, like mine, like this car was hit right around here on the fender, and if you can remember on the inside where it was, you saw that like it'd been kind of dented in a little bit there a few episodes ago, and I was trying to pull that dent out, and I ended up hammering that dent out. Well, that was an indication that the car had been hit right there. And so you want to just make sure, because I got a new door now, right? So things might line up a little bit differently, than how the old door was lined up. And so I did that. This is the new door, as you can tell, and there was some alignment issues right here. Actually, there was a little dent right here. You can kind of see, if I can get out of the shadow, you see that high spot right here? This was actually dented in right there, and it was in, and leaving this rear quarter exposed just a little bit. It was coming out a little, it was sticking out just a little bit. So what I had to do was hammer that out a little bit to line it up. Same thing down here. Let's see, right here. I don't know if you can see that high spot right there. See that? Harder to see that one. It's not as big as the one up top, but you can kind of see it. And it was leaving this rear quarter exposed just a little bit. It was sticking out a little bit further because this was sunken in just a little bit. So I just got the body hammer, hammered that back out. And then on the fender part, I had some more issues on this, bigger issues. This had trouble with this lining up, and it's still not perfect, but it's going to have to do. So right here, this is the area. This part was dented in a little bit, and so I couldn't even open the door. I tried adjusting it and everything, but you couldn't open the door, and it was leaving a big gap. And it's still there. You can kind of tell that it was there, but it's like 100 times better than what it was. Trust me. And you're probably wondering, why didn't I film all that? But I actually did film it, and I did this whole long process. And because my phone was running low on space, I had to actually delete that video in order to get my new video up, which was the episode 31. So the previous video that you're going to see, or the previous video from this video that you're watching now. So that was unfortunate. I lost that footage, and you know. All right, guys, I got the fender on. Or I got a little bit of bad news, but hopefully it's correctable. Should be. This, because the fender was hit, and it was dented in right here. You can see quite a gap here. Up here is not too bad. Actually, up here is fine. But then when you get about right here, I've already marked it with a pin there. It bends in quite drastically. And right here too, all the way down till about right over here, it starts correcting again. But from about right here all the way up to there, I'm gonna have to push that out a little. And the bend is so drastic that I can't open the door. So it's definitely something that has to be done. Let me show you. See right there? It's hitting. It's supposed to pass. It's supposed to pass like that right here and go underneath it. But yeah. So hopefully we get to work on that. But basically what I had to do, I'll go ahead and just explain it to you. This was dented in. What I did was I just went back behind here, and real hard I pushed out as hard as I could, you know, until this was close enough to call it good. You know, just make sure you have your bolts, bottom bolts, and your top bolts in, because you know when you're pushing out on this right here, you know, you want to push out really hard in order to fix that. And so now the door opens up good. Let me go ahead and show you. See right here, before it was, you know, it was hitting right there. Now it clears just fine, and the door opens up. So got that taken care of, and there we have it. It's satisfactory. That's about as good as I'm going to be able to get it. Okay, you know those little pinhole spots after you get done with your body filler? You can see right here. Okay, right there. You see all those pinholes? And over here too. Up in here. Well, you need to get, you might be able to cover that with some more body filler, but it's better to try to get a lightweight filler, which is like this stuff called glazing putty. This stuff right here it's pretty good. It's just I just get the Bondo brand 3M, but you want to get the 2-part. They make several different ones. This one requires an activator, which is like the hard. See how lightweight this stuff is. It's like, scrape it over so you get in all those pinholes. All right, and what I did was what you saw whenever I just covered up those holes first, then I went back over it and glazed over it like that. And this stuff is really easy to sand off too. I'll probably just use like a 320 on it, and it'll come right off. So. All right, pinholes have been filled. Looking good. Alright guys, here's that door again. What I wanted to just go over again was, if you look at if the dents that you've discovered are it's too deep, and the primer is another couple coats of primer is not going to even it out, you want to go ahead and use some body filler on top to correct it. For example, like this one right here. You can see right here. There's like it's like a pretty good dimple there. That you want to go ahead and just use body filler to correct that. Also, right in there in that groove. And then there was one more down here. You can see right here. See how that low when I was block sanding, it revealed that, and you can see that pretty substantial dent there. So, gonna just go over that with some body filler before we primer it again. Alright, I have convinced myself, after thinking much about it, about trying to take this glass out of the hatch, because I looked at my tape lines after I primered the front side, and I wasn't too happy about them. It probably would have been okay, but I want to just see if I can get this glass out, and it'll make me a lot happier. And also was brought up to me in my previous video from a poster on my video, and it was a good point, you know. Maybe I should have looked into it a little bit more, but and so I'm going to do it. Anyways, I'm going to go for it, and I've been working on this thing for about 10 minutes, and it's pretty much been kicking my butt. So, you know, I've kind of loosened up the trim around there. You just kind of I just got the lip off, and I'm using water and soap. This is not Febreze, it's water and soap. It's to kind of help as a lubricant. And I spray it on there. Try to spray it underneath the seal, and then I'm going to I tried to push the glass out and see if I could get like a corner out and then work my way around, but I couldn't. I didn't have any luck with that. And sorry, I got the sniffles, and it's windy as heck out here. But so now what I'm doing is you look down here, I've fed a rope and I've kind of pushed it in there with these tools, push it down through there, and I'm trying to get it to go through between the glass and the hatch to the other side, and I've just about got it to where I can grab it. This is, hopefully this will work. I'm not really sure. I know that you use a rope to install the piece, but I don't know about taking it out. You know, but I figured if I can get a rope in between, then it would help me get it out. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. I guess I'll just let you look. I'll just keep the camera rolling and then see what I can do. Doesn't help that this thing is awkward and big and kind of heavy as well. But so I've got the rope almost fed through. There we go. All right. So now I think the hatch needs to come this way out. So hopefully I can. So tight. It's so tight it doesn't want to move a rope. See if I can spray some more soap water in there. Okay, there we go. Wow. All right. See, I got the rope in there. I don't know really. I guess it helped with keeping that seal up a little bit, but pushed the glass down, and I finally got this lip over the edge, and I should be able to just work that around, and it should release. Let's see. There we go. All right, that corner came out. Okay, now I better just take it easy, nice and slow. I'm gonna go through, use this tool to get up underneath the edge like this, and I'm gonna re-lubricate all the way around the perimeter. Basically, I'm just holding the hatch up with my one arm and pushing nice and steady on the glass. Kind of distribute the push, distribute the force. Go. Okay. All right, time to re-lube here. There we go. Coming easily now. All right, here it is without the glass. All that just so I can not have this tape line right here. The things we do, huh? But it's good. It's all good. It's like it could use a little bit of a cleaning, and in the end, it'll make it look better. So shout out to whoever that was that I'll put his name up on the screen right now. Kind of convinced me to go that extra step, so appreciate that. Now if I can just hopefully I'll be able to get it back in. That's going to be the harder part. Maybe. Alright, and here you can see it after primer again. Second time around. Nice clean edges. No paint lines. So I'm very happy about that. Looks good. Here's an exploded view. Or a close-up shot, I should say. Just a really clean primer job so far. Alright, now right here obviously I've got this thing guide coated right now, but what I did before that was I sanded it down in order to cut through it a lot quicker. I sanded it with 180 grit. I did try it with 320 on the initial cut, and it was not doing the job that I needed it to do quick enough. So rather than spend 2 weeks trying to cut through that first layer of primer, what I did was I went to the down to the 180 grit and was able to cut through it pretty good that way. And then but now I have 180 scratches on the whole car, and as you can see, I've guide coated the whole car. But so now I've got the 180 scratches. I need to get those 180 scratches out, and I need to get it up to at least 400 or 600. Okay, so I've got the 180 scratches on the car right now. Now I put the guide coat down. Now I'm gonna go to 320. I tried the 400, but it was taking too long again to get the 180 scratches out. So it's better just to go take a smaller step to like a 320 and to get the scratches out like that. So let me show you. I'm gonna take the block with the 320 grit and go over this area right here, and you'll be able to see the guide coat is going to highlight those 180 scratches. Okay, hang on a second. All right, so then just take it like this. I'm just going to hit it real quick so you can see. Like that. Come back. All right, now you see when you get up close, you see those scratches right here. You see how the black highlights those crisscross scratches. Those are still 180 scratches. See those? All right. And what we need to do is take those out. So just continue sanding with the 320. All right, now check that out. All those 180 grit scratches are now gone. Here's the spot where they're still there, so you can kind of compare. Up here, smooth. You can even take some a wet rag, wipe over that. Take a wet rag, go over it. See it? All right, so now I don't know if it showed up on the camera, but while I was doing the sanding, I went through a little bit right here, and that's not what you really want to do. It's not a good thing, but it will happen. You know, it's going to happen. And all you need to do is just take you can take some primer. You can just take some 1K primer even, or you can use the stuff that you've been using, and just go over that real lightly, primer over that, wait for it to dry, and then lightly sand it with 400 grit. So you'll get the rough texture off, you know. But you want to have it covered. You don't want any bare metal showing before you don't want to paint over any bare metal, because it's not going to stick. So see, that's nice and smooth, and now we just need to do the rest of the car, which is the pain in the butt part of this job. Oh, and not to mention, this is just the 320 grit. I'm gonna have to go back again, do the same exact process, but do it with the 400 grit next time. And I'll probably wet sand it with the 400. Not sure yet. We'll see how it goes, but it usually, a wet sand turn out a little bit nicer, but that's just my opinion. So you know, there's 100 ways to skin a cat, so it goes the same way with painting a car. So just apply that to the rest of the car, and I'll see you next year. Hopefully it won't take me that long. All right, guys, here it is, the day of. But if you saw my little note during the intro, because this video is running so long, what I'm going to do is, see, what I have to do is, this is going to be like a two-part process. I'm going to have to do all the undersides, like under the hood, the back side of the underside of the hatch, and the back side of the doors, and the back side of the gas cap right there. So, because I'm going to have to, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to seal this first, but after that's done, when I do the base coat, I'm going to have to do the clear coat as well. And I don't have anywhere to store these places, or these pieces, while I do, if I was to do the whole car on the same day. And, you know, the back sides, they gotta dry up and cure before I can rest them on the back side in order to paint the front sides. Hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. But here's what I did with the underside of the hood. I had to do a little bit of more rust repair right here. I redid all the seam sealers all the way around. Just kind of touched it up with some primer in some areas when I was scuffing it. You have to make sure you scuff it before you paint it, otherwise the paint won't stick. But when I went down to bare metal in a couple of spots, I scuffed this down with 400 grit sandpaper, and there you have it. All that old seam sealer was just cracking off. Some of them I could just remove it with my hand, so I put new seam sealer on. It looks really good. But instead of what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to primer this. I'm going to sealer. I'm going to use some sealer on the back side of the hood. And what sealer is it's kind of like primer, but basically what it does is, you know, it kind of like resets your I don't know, your canvas, if you will. It's like wiping your canvas clean and then it's ready to paint. All right. So that's what sealer does. It makes it all one color also. So like if this was like the top of the hood and I had like a big primer spot in one area, like over here, and let's say I was painting this white, you know, later on that you might be able to see that that primer come through that white, or like if it was a body filler, something like that. So what the sealer does is it kind of it makes everything one uniform color, and you don't have to scuff it either. You just, you know, as long as you do your base coat, clear coat within a 24-hour period, you don't have to scuff it. It's ready for base coat and clear coat after the one coat of seam sealer, or one coat of sealer, and then you wait 30 minutes to 45 minutes, and then you're ready for the base coat, clear coat. So that's what I'm going to do with the underside of the hood. I apologize that I'm not able to do the whole car on this video, but you know, I've done a long time. I mean, I've come out with a lot of videos, and I don't think it would be right to just kind of squeeze it in, you know, and only use like 5 minutes on showing the whole car after it's painted. So the next video is going to be totally dedicated to just painting the base coat, clear coat on the front sides of the body parts, like the front of the hood, the doors, and also the main body. So and putting it and putting the car, as far as the exterior, back together. So because I almost ran out of, actually I'm running out of time on this video, so that's why I have to do a separate video. The good news is you won't have to wait a whole month. Like the videos have been taking me like almost 3 weeks to a month to come out. So because I'll be painting the car next week, you know, on my time. So you know, I should be able to come out with another video within a week or two. So just stay patient, and I promise I'll get it out as soon as I can. Okay. So let me go ahead and start this process. And here's my sealer. This was actually, I had this left over from a previous job. It's 2K urethane sealer, gray, Nason. Got about a half quart left here, which is plenty to do the hood, the bottom side of the hood. And got to make sure you got some activator right here. It's the same activator that you use for the primer. All right, here it is after the sealer. Pretty good. Everything's uniform color and ready for base coat, clear coat. Guys, here's the base coat right here. It's by Nason. There's the reducer. You want to use 2-to-1 mixture on this. Remember how to do that on your on the cups there. 2-to-1 this time instead of 4-to-1 like on the primers. This is a Anvil gray, like their version of Battleship gray, I guess. But it's called Anvil gray. So there it is. We'll see what it looks like on the car. It's kind of like a darker, a little bit darker gray. What it looks like in the sun before the sun goes down, because I'm not going to be able to get the clear coat on here before that, but you kind of see it right like that. It's right in the sun. Of course, there's no clear coat on here yet, but it's nice and shiny still because I just put the fresh coat on it. So here's what it looks like. I'm liking it. I think it's gonna be awesome on the whole car, you know. All right, time for some clear coat. Remember, this mixture goes 4-to-1. The clear coat is really thin, so it comes out of the gun really fast. Got to keep that gun moving because you don't want to get any runs in this clear coat. there's two coats of clear on the back side of the hood. It looks awesome. Really liking this color. But I was so indecisive about my color choice, so to finally get it down, you know, it's a relief. All right, guys, another night, another long night, another successful night. You can see how I'm stretched for storage space as far as where to put my stuff while the clear coat is curing. I have the hatch actually hiding back here behind the hood, but it's not touching anything, believe it or not. The old driver's door is there, and it's holding the hood from touching the hatch. And the hatch, the glass is out, so that middle part is able to pass the door without touching it. So had to be a little creative, but here it is. It's all done, the insides anyways. Oh, and I got the gas door over here. It's just sitting on this right here. Man, my garage is a mess, but I can't wait to finish this project so I can clean this place up. Anyways, I wanted to also mention, when you're doing your final sanding, when I said 400 grit, now that's fine and good when you're doing colors that do not have any metallics or pearls in it. Okay, I forgot to mention that. If you have pearls or metallics in your paint, then you will want to go to 600 grit, because the metallics and the pearls, the little flakes, could actually get in those small tiny little cracks and create an effect that will not be desirable. Once again, thanks a lot, guys, for tuning in. You know, it's kind of fun to document all this, and not just for other people, but for myself as well. So, but the reward is definitely there, as far as maybe somebody can learn from these, and even just learning from my mistakes, because I do make some, and I will point them out if I do. But so far, so good. I mean, this paint job is going pretty is going pretty good. So I'm happy how everything's turning out so far. Remember to please like and subscribe if you want to help me out. It doesn't help me out as far as the likes go. It doesn't help me out as monetarily, because I don't monetize my videos. But what it does help me out with is motivation. You know, I see those likes going up, and it motivates me to keep going on those days where you just want to come home from work and chill out and just watch TV. You know, I'll head out and get a couple of hours of sanding or whatever. You know, so. Thank you for the thumbs up, guys, each and every one of you, and also the comments. Those comments really help out, you know, so I appreciate those as well. This job is doing a restoration is not easy, so I need all the help that I can get, and you know, if you want to help me out, that would be a good way of doing it. So, also, if you want to share the video with some of your friends. Anyways, again, thanks a lot, guys. And the next video, don't worry, we won't be that long before the next video. So just stay tuned. All right. Look forward to seeing you next time.
2, 3, 4.